Hi there, today we're going to be looking at a key theme in Macbeth, which is the theme of kingship. So I'm going to go through my analysis just like normal with the 4 key points I would make in relation to kingship, and all my analysis has been colour coded so you can see where it matches the mark scheme. So how does Shakespeare present the theme of kingship? Shakespeare has shown it is impossible to be the perfect king here. There is no perfect king in his play. Duncan was respected, he was loyal and he was trusting, but he died. And the key measure of a successful king is, can you keep it consistent? Can you bring stability to your country? Can you stay alive? And Duncan fails on that. Macbeth was tyrannical, powerful and brutal, and he also died. So we have not got a perfect king in our play. Both of them met the ultimate fall, the ultimate demise at the end. Both of them have failed in their key role, which is to be a good, effective, long-lasting king. So what 4 points would I make about the theme of kingship? First of all, I'd start with Duncan. Now Duncan trusts everyone, even those who are a threat to him, for he refers to Macbeth as a valiant cousin. Now Duncan is regarded as a good king and a very, very special king, even by his enemies. Even Macbeth, the man who's planning to kill him, feels that his virtues will plead like angels when he dies. Now that's enough about Duncan. I'd then move on to Macbeth. I would look at how kingship takes a mental strength that Macbeth lacks, for when he is worried about Banquo he says, "Full of scorpions is my mind." But I'd also look at how Macbeth tries to maintain rule through merciless tyranny, unlike Duncan who tries to do it through mutual respect and trust. And this is shown through the line, "I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate." So, paragraph 1, I would refer to King Duncan's description of Macbeth as a valiant cousin, after hearing how he's almost single-handedly won the war for Scotland against Norway. So Duncan here is a trusting and loving king. He's quick to heap praise on Macbeth, and he jumps to love and support of the people close to him, whilst Macbeth later will jump to paranoia and fear and mistrust. Now, a Jacobean medieval king would have depended on support from their thanes and their lords to maintain rule, because if the people directly beneath you don't like you, then you're not going to be around for very long. So this glory and praise is a requirement of a successful king. All Duncan is doing here is just conforming to what we'd expect of a good king. Now, the noun cousin connotes a family bond, indicating the close bond and loyalty he feels to Macbeth, and the adjective valiant shows that he sees more than Macbeth's violence on the battlefield, but he is respecting his honour and his integrity as well. Now this is quite ironic because he fails to see this ambitious, violent, increasingly powerful man is becoming a threat to him, and arguably a more aware, more able king would have been able to see that threat before he did. So then I would look at Macbeth's reference to King Duncan saying his virtues will plead like angels, and this is where Macbeth is deciding whether to kill King Duncan or not. So even his enemies recognise that he is an excellent king and that he is universally respected. Now his association with angels reflects his position at the top of the great chain of being. At the top of the great chain of being is God and his heaven, and only that is the thing that is above the king. Now the fact that he is associated with those angels suggests that Macbeth knows that it is right for King Duncan to be there, and it would be a sin against society and God to remove him, and therefore he'd then spend all eternity in damnation in hell. Now the verb plead connotes a desperation and helplessness, which reflects the vulnerable position Duncan has put himself in, trusting someone like Macbeth and being so close to him. And this shows how all of society, from top to bottom, so right from the angels all the way down to the bottom, is begging to keep a king with these qualities alive. That universal respect, though, has put him in a vulnerable position. Now this juxtaposes Duncan's virtues with Macbeth's virtues, because Duncan's virtues are endeared by heaven and associated with angels, whereas Macbeth's virtues are destroyed by the witches, who in Jacobean Britain would have been seen as people who work for the devil with a pact with the devil. So I'd then move on to paragraph 3, and I'd have this one, "Full of scorpions is my mind," which Macbeth says in relation to his thoughts about Banquo. So as a king, Macbeth is racked with paranoia and fear for his safety. So he's demonstrating the futility of power. What's the point of being king if it can be lost, if you can't keep that power? And this shows how Macbeth lacks the mental toughness to rule. This is not a situation that would have been different to any other king. Every king would have been concerned for their safety and for the security of their rule, but Macbeth can't cope with those pressures. So like Duncan, he should rely on those around him for support, like Macbeth was relying on Macbeth when he was promoting the thanes. However, he pushes his wife away, he kills his friend Banquo, and then after the ghost of Banquo scene, he returns back to the supernatural for their advice and support, which is the opposite to what King Duncan would be doing. Now the metaphor here of scorpions has got loads of stuff you can say about that. Scorpions connote death, reflecting his anxiety and fear will drive him to his death. Scorpions are also hard and robust, so there's nothing he can do to get rid of this paranoia. But scorpions are also very small, so Banquo is only a small problem in the greater scheme of kingship, but Macbeth has got the ability to get past him. He's too stubborn and he's too concerned and he's just flatly too scared. Finally, my last paragraph will be on this one. I'll make assurance double sure and take a bond of fate. So this is when Macbeth returns back to the witches, and the witches say he needs to beware Macduff. So he's maintaining his rule through merciless tyranny here. His violence has progressed from being a reluctant coward to killing Duncan in the middle of the night while he's asleep, to murdering his friend Banquo in cold blood, and now he murders an innocent woman and her child, demonstrating the corrupting influence of power. Now that he's got control of the country, now that he is a king, he's growing more and more violent and growing more and more out of control. Now this is quite ironic, because it is this apparent fate that has won him the kingship, but now he believes he can control fate by killing the man the witches say will destroy him. Now this suggests that now he's become king, he's got a warped sense of his own power and control, and this leads to his downfall, showing the danger of becoming king and the danger of the confidence that it can give you.